All right, so this is question number 9, and this one says, Miss What Does class recorded the amount of time they spent online on a Saturday. The box plot shows below a summary of the data. Okay. Now a summary of the data. Okay. When we have a box plot, that's giving a hint right here. That summary of data is that we need to find our 5-number summary, right? So when I see a box plot like this, right, I like to call it box and whiskers. I'm going to label what all of these mean, right? I know all the way at the far left, that is my minimum. And I know all the way at the end, if my minimum is at the beginning, that means at the end is my maximum, right? And then I know my Q1, Q2, and Q3 are in between those, and it's in order. So the first line of the box is my Q1. That box inside the middle is my Q2. And that box on the outside is my Q3. It has to go in order. So if I'm writing over here on the side, my minimum, my Q1, right here on my Q2, we need to recognize that is Q2 and is also my median, the middle of all my data set. Okay. And then I have Q3 and then my max. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill those numbers in. So at my minimum, I come straight down this line. I had a 1, and I like to label them the way I would find them. My max is 14. My Q2, which is my middle, it's right between 6 and 7. So think about it. What's the middle point between 6 and 7, right? Right there. That whenever you have a middle between two whole numbers, it's always going to be a halfway mark. So 6.5 or 6.5. My Q1 is 5. And then my Q3 is 8. So I have my 5-number summary. This 5-number summary is going to help me find these answer choices, right? Because it says which statement is true. So the range of hours spent online was 3 hours, right? Now, when we're over here, I'm going to write over here, range is max minus my minimum. Okay. So if I go, my max right here, I have all my numbers are 14 minus my minimum, which is 1. And that's a pretty simple one to do. 14 minus 1, that is 13, right? So I'm saying that my range was 13. And right here, it only says 3. So I know that A cannot be it because my range would have been a lot more. Okay. The mean number of hours spent online was 6.5. Now, when we find the mean, we have to add all of our numbers in our data. A box plot or a box and whiskers does not give us all of our numbers and our data. It does not. It gives us our 5-number summary. That's all it gives us. It does not give us all of our numbers. So we are unable to find a mean. We cannot find the average just based off a box plot. We need the whole list of data. So we cannot find that. So I'm going to say that B is not the answer because we are unable to find the average because we do not have all the data for it. C says half of the students spent 6.5 to 14 hours. Now half. When we talk about half, what do you think about when you hear the word half? Right? We should recognize that when we hear the word half, that is talking about the middle. Okay. So my middle is my median, which my median was 6.5. 6.5 to 14. So if this is my middle, that means my max is my end. And my max ended was 14. So my Q2 was 6.5. My max was 14. That's a good range. That range matches. My middle was 6.5. And all of this upper half was all the way to 14. That is half of the students. So I'm going to say, hey, that could be the answer. I'm going to leave it there. Now, my inner quartile range was also my IQR, right? Saying that it was 13. Whoa. Well, I got my range as 13, but I guess I could check it, right? Maybe it's the same. Now, IQR or my inner quartile range, it is finding the range. That's when you subtract, just like we did. And we're subtracting our max and our min. But this time we have to pay attention that we have that word quartile. So we're not doing the max and minimum of the entire set. We're doing our max quartile minus our minimum quartile, which is also Q3 minus Q1. So if I look at this, my Q3, come over here, was 8 minus my Q1 was 5, right? And 8 minus 5 is 3. So that should have been 3. So if I look at this, they try to trick us here. They put 3 as my range when 3 should have been my IQR. They put 13 as my IQR when 13 was actually over here as my range. So no, that cannot be it. And the only one that made sense was C. Okay. Pay attention to those words, right? Because this was a trick one. This range and this IQR range, this IQR inner quartile range, was they switched these numbers hoping that you'll switch those operations and get that wrong. Okay. On mean, when we have a box plot, we cannot find a mean because we need all the data, and this doesn't give us all the data. This gives us our 5-number summary. Okay. There's a big difference. All righty. Thank you so much.